Welcome to National Institute of Open Schooling. I am Divya Nath. Today we are going to discuss about Module 3, Lesson 6, that is Collection and Classification of Data, Part 1. In this module, we are going to discuss about or distinguish between primary and secondary data. Once we know about primary and secondary data, then we are going to list out the methods by which we can collect primary data. Thereafter, we are going to discuss about the sources of secondary data. Once we know about the sources of secondary data, we are going to discuss about concept of classification of data, and in the last we are going to discuss about concept of an array and frequency array. So class, let's start the class. So very first, what do you mean by the term data? Data here means the information which is capable of further numerical expression and from which we can draw a meaningful conclusion. Now this data can be classified into two parts. One is primary data and other is secondary data. Now let's study what is primary data. Primary data is such a data which is collected by the investigator for his own purpose for the first time, from the very beginning to end. Now this is collected from the source of origin, and that is why it is also called first-hand information. So data such collected is more original in nature, more reliable and takes more time and money also. Whereas when we talk about secondary data are those data which are already in existence and have been collected for some other purpose by the investigator. Now, this is also known as second-hand information. In this, data is less reliable, less original in nature and takes less time and money also. So, now students, we are well aware of primary data and secondary data. Now, we can distinguish between the two concepts on the basis of originality. Now, when we talk about originality, primary data are more original in nature than the secondary data. Why is it so? Because primary data are being collected by the investigator for the first time from the source of origin, whereas in case of secondary data, data already is in existence and it is being collected by some other person. Next, on the basis of suitability of objectives. Now, in case of primary data, it is being collected for the investigator for the first time for his own purpose. So, it is being framed for the specific objective. Whereas, in case of secondary data, some other objective or others information given by the investigator is being used for his purpose. Now, we are going to use it. So, it is less objectivity is there for the investigator this time. On the other hand, when we talk about cost of collection, primary data incurs huge cost of collection. So, primary data is costlier as compared to secondary data in terms of time, money and efforts. Now, once we know the difference between primary and secondary data, we are able to discuss about the methods from which we can collect primary data. There are three methods to collect primary data. Very first is direct personal investigation, second is indirect oral investigation and the third is information through questionnaires and schedules. Now, let's discuss each one of them in detail. So, let's talk about direct personal investigation. It is the method in which the investigator collects the information directly from the informant. Now, the question comes when we should adopt such a method. Now, we should adopt such a method in the following cases. Very first, when the field of investigation is limited. Second, a greater degree of originality, accuracy and reliability is required. Third, information is to be kept secret. Fourth, accuracy of data is given of great importance. Next, when direct contact with the informant is required. So, in all such cases, we need to collect primary data by direct oral investigation. Now, the second method, that is indirect oral investigation. Under this method, the information is obtained by the investigator not from the person from where we need information, but from some other person who possesses such information. Now, in this, what happens? Why we need such kind of information and why we don't want to contact to the informant? The reasons are, the field of investigation is too large. Second, it is not possible to have a direct contact with the informant. Third, the concerned informant is not capable of giving information. He may be illiterate or some other reason is there. Next, the investigation is so complex in nature that only experts can give information. So, students, in all the cases, we need to collect information through indirect oral investigation. Now, the third method, that is information through questionnaires and schedule. Under this method, the investigator prepares a questionnaire. Now, investigator can collect this questionnaire by two ways. As we can see, the first method is enumerator method and the second is mailing method. Now, let us discuss them in detail. Now, very first we will talk about mailing method. Under mailing method, the investigator prepares a questionnaire and gives it or mail it to the respondent. Now, the respondent or the informants fill up these questionnaires. Once they fill up and complete it, then they again give it to the investigator. Now, this was known as mailing method. Now, in case of enumerators method, under this method, what happens? The enumerator prepares the questionnaires and takes these questionnaires to the informant. Now, he asks the questions to the informants and fill up the information. Such questionnaires are known as schedules. So, students, we know about there are two methods of collecting questionnaire. One is mailing method, other is enumerator methods. So, now we know the methods to collect primary data. After this, we can discuss about what are the methods or out of which method we should adopt when the area of investigation is too large. When the area of investigation is too large, we should always collect the primary data from information through questionnaires and schedules. Now, students, we are going to discuss about what are the benefits of collecting primary data. The very first benefit is high degree of originality. Second benefit is fairly accurate data. Third is we are going to get a very reliable data. So, these were the benefits of collecting primary data. Now, let us discuss about the demerits of collecting primary data. Very first, we cannot collect primary data where the investigation is very large or the field is too large. On the other hand, when we talk about in terms of cost, collection of primary data is too costly. So, we now know what are the benefits and what are the drawbacks of collecting primary data. After this, we are going to discuss about sources of secondary data. There are two sources of secondary data. First, published sources. Second, unpublished sources. Now, let us discuss them in detail. So, let us first discuss about published data. There are certain agencies which collect the data and present it in the form of journals or reports. Such are known as published sources of data. Now, students, let us discuss the examples of the sources of published data. Very first is Central Statistical Organization. It publishes data on national income, saving, capital formation in a publication called National Account Statistics. The second example is National Sample Survey Organization. This organization, which is under the Ministry of Finance, provides data on all aspects of national economy such as agriculture, industry, employment. Now, when we talk about the third is Reserve Bank of India. Now, Reserve Bank of India also publishes data and it publishes data in financial statistical tables relating to the banks of India. Next is when we talk about Labour Bureau. Now, it also publishes data under publication called Indian Labour Statistics, Indian Labour Yearbook and Indian Labour Journal. Now, the next example is Population Census. It is undertaken by the Office of the Registrar General, Census of India, Ministry of Home Affairs. It provides us statistics on population, employment, income and literacy rate. Next is the example of papers and magazines. We all know there are so many data published in different magazines and journals. So, once we know about the sources of published data, then we are going to discuss about unpublished data. Now, the question is, what is unpublished sources? There are certain statistical data which are never being published by the government offices or by the private offices, or there are so many research done by the researchers which are never published. So, we can also collect data from these sources also, and this is categorized as unpublished sources. Once we know about the sources of data, secondary data, we can also discuss about classification of data. Now, we have collected the data, right, from the primary data, and when we talk about secondary data. Now, once the data is being collected, if it is not organized, we cannot use it. So, we need to arrange it. That is, classification of data is required. Now, what is classification of data? Classification is the process of arranging figures in such a form that comparison of the mass of similar data may be facilitated and further analysis may be possible. So, classification of data is must, then only we are able to use data collected by primary way or by the secondary way. Now, once we have done the classification of data, we can discuss about forms of arrangement of data. How we can arrange the data? The data can be arranged in two different ways. Very first, array, and the second is frequency distribution. Now, what is an array? When we talk about an array, an orderly arrangement of raw data is known as array. Now, array can be discussed as we can see in two ways, simple array and frequency array. Now, what is a simple array? Simple array, when we talk about, is an arrangement of data either in ascending order or descending order. So, we are telling you either we can arrange the data in ascending order or descending order. So, let us take an example to understand how we are able to construct simple array. So, this is the question, students. Marks obtained by 10 students in economics are as follows: 30, 25, 15, 35, 23, 19, 18, 28, 29 and 27 respectively. Now, very first way is I can arrange this data in ascending order. That means I can start from the lowest. So, what is the lowest value in this when we discuss about is, let us see, we can start it from 15. So, in ascending order, when we have written 15, then we have written 18, 19, 23, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30 and 35. So, this is the very first way of presenting simple array. That means we have done in ascending order. Now, second is descending array. We can give the information in descending order also. Let us see how we have done. We have just reversed the order. See, 35, 30, 29, 28, 27, 25, 23, 19, 18, 15. So, we have learned that we can construct simple array in two ways. Very first, either we can have an ascending array or we can have descending array. So, once we know about simple array, let us talk about why and when we should use simple array. We are going to use simple array when we have got number of items too small, so that we can easily arrange them either in ascending order or descending order. But what happens when the number of items becomes big? Then in that case, we need to discuss about frequency array. Now, what is a frequency array? Frequency array is a series formed on the basis of frequency. Now, what is a frequency? Frequency is a number of times a variable has been repeated. So, what we have done, we are going to see how many times a value has been repeated. So, the value becomes x and number of times the value has been repeated becomes its frequency. Let us see it with the help of an example. So, over here we are able to see an example where marks obtained by 20 students. Now, listen over here. In the last example, we have discussed about 10 students. The number of items were too small. So, we were able to make simple array. But over here, what we are seeing is that there are 20 students. So, the number of items have become big. In such a case, we need to construct frequency array. Very first thing. Second thing, how we are going to construct frequency array? We are going to construct frequency array with the help of telebars. So, let us see. Now, over here we can see the data is being given to us. Very first we will put the first data 11. So, here the marks being given by the teacher for the economics is 11. Then we will find out how many times the value of 11 has been repeated. See, we will count 11 for the first time, then second time, then third. That means we have to make 3 tally for it. So, second column we have made telebars and we have written one tally, second tally and the third telebar. And then the frequency is being written over here. So, 1, 2 and 3, that means 3 frequencies. Now, let us see 12. We can see 12 is being repeated only once. So, telebar is 1, frequency becomes 1. Likewise, in case of 14, we can see 14 is being repeated once, second, third, fourth. So, we are going to make 4 tallies and when we count it, we get a total of 4. So, we put the frequency. Likewise, we are going to do for all of them. Now, when the frequency becomes 5, what happens? We are going to put 4 telebars and 1 cut from the first towards the end in the diagonal form. It gives you 5, right? So, in this way, we have constructed telebars. So, what we are observing over here is that first we have written marks, then we had made a column of telebar, then we had made a column of frequency. In the last, you can see total is being written and total frequency is being counted as 20. This is a cross check. So, we know that we have not missed any of the students. So, students, let's check it out whether we have learned how to construct frequency array. So, for that I have just noted down one question over here. The question says convert the data into frequency array. Now, the question is 20 students of class 12th have secured the following marks in English. So, we have got how many students? Very first 20. That means for cross check we have learned that the total of the frequency should be 20. So, let us start the construction steps. Very first, what have been given to us? Marks. So, first column we are going to make for marks. Next, when we talk about frequency array, then we need to make a telebar. So, the next column would be for telebar. And then with the help of these telebars, we are going to construct the frequencies. So, the third column is frequency. And here we can write total also. So, we have made 3 columns. The very first marks, telebars and frequency. Now, let us see how we are going to construct frequency array. Let us see, the very first variable is 10. Now, we are going to see how many tallies for 10 we can get. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I have told you how to construct a telebar. 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is 5 and this is 6. So, over here we have written 6 frequency. So, for the first variable we have done. Now, the second variable is 11 marks. Now, let us see how many times this value has been repeated. Let us count 1, only once. So, 1 tally and we get frequency of 1. Now, 10, 11, then we can see 12. Let's write the marks 12 and cross check how many times this value has been repeated. So, once, second time, third tally, fourth tally, 5. So, we are going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the total comes to 5. Next, let's look for the next value 13. Is it there in the data? No, it is not there in the data. So, we are going to look for the next value for the marks 14. Now, let's go with the tally 1, 2, that means 14 has been just having 2 tally bars. So, we are going to get the frequency of 2. Now, the next variable after 14 we should have 15 value. Now, we are going to look into the question, do we have 15? No, we do not have any 15 value. Then we are going to look for the next value, that is 16. Let us see 1, only 1. So, we have got a frequency of 1. Then we can look for the next value, that is 17. Let us see 1, 2. So, we have got 2 tally. So, we are going to write frequency over here 2. After 17 we have got 18. Now, let us see how many tally bars do we get for this. 1, next 2. So, total of 2. After this we are seeing the next value is 19. Now, let us see how many tally bars we are going to get it. 1, only once. So, the frequency is 1. Once we have constructed this, there is a cross check also. That means the total frequency must be equal to the total number of the students, that is 20. So, let us see whether we have done it in the right way or we have mistaken somewhere. Let us total it out. 6, 7, 7 plus 5, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. That means we have not missed any variable, any value over here. So, we have constructed the frequency array in this way and we have cross checked with the total number of the students and we have seen that we have not missed any of the value. Is it okay, students? So, today we have learned about frequency array. Now, students, let us have a quick recap what we have learned in the class. Very first in the class, we have discussed about primary data, secondary data. We know data collected by the investigator for his own purpose is known as primary data, whereas when we talk about secondary data, it is being collected by some other person for his own purpose. Then we have discussed about sources of secondary data. We have learned that there are two main sources, published sources and unpublished sources. Thereafter, we have also discussed about classification of data. Now we know why do we want to classify data. What is the need of classification of data? Then we have discussed how the classification of data can be done or how the arrangement of data can be done. It can be done in two ways, arrays and frequency distribution. Thereafter, we have discussed about different types of array, that is simple array and frequency array. So, students, in the end we would like to say that the following things we have learned about this chapter. We have discussed about distinguish between primary and secondary data. Then we have discussed about methods of collecting primary data. After that, we have discussed about sources of secondary data and we have also discussed about classification of data. Once we have done the classification of data, we now know that data can be arranged in simple array and frequency distribution. Thank you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।